10 people. Hello and good morning and good Monday to everyone, and thank you for joining us on the next or the second serving of Business Book Day. Again, we're doing this in order to honor those authors that created a masterpiece, at the same time um, take some of the wisdom and knowledge that they are imparting through that book. And today, I will be discussing, where's that book? Uh, Grit by Dr. Angela Duckworth, and it's one of the best-selling books that hit recently our book lovers and businessmen. And this one is a very powerful book. And in fact, Dr. Angela Duckworth received a lot of invitation because of this great book that she wrote. And we will be discussing some of the important uh, wisdom that she imparted in this book, in my perspective. Of course, kanya-kanyang basa, kanya-kanyang gusto ko ano yung mga importanteng lines or stories in this great book that Dr. Angela Duckworth wrote. Okay, next slide, please. Again, our topic for today is 10 powerful concepts in summoning your grit. And the first lesson that Dr. Angela Duckworth revealed in this one is, next slide, please, is of course the definition of grit. Grit is passion and sustained persistence. Again, you can have passion in something, but sometimes if that passion is parang ningas kugon, you started it in 2 days, maybe 3 days, or like it's a New Year's resolution, when you write your New Year's resolution and after 1 week, balik ka na naman dun sa old habits mo, and then it is useless. And again, sustained persistence is also important. However, if you don't have the direction kung ano yung gusto mong gawin sa buhay mo, then that persistence is nothing. So, grit is passion and sustained persistence applied toward long-term achievement with no particular concern for rewards or recognition along the way. It means that para siyang vocation, no? It's a vocation, it's a calling for you. Good morning, Jerry. Thank you for listening. Also, besides that, it's something that if you're an entrepreneur or if you're like other entrepreneurs that I talk with, they started not with money. Hi, Chari. Again, thank you. Yes, I watch her. I watch also Dr. Angela Duckworth sa TED. And ito yung ginagawa mo because you love it and you know that you can create a positive impact to the society. Again, second division, it combines resilience, ambition, and self-control in the pursuit of goals that take months, years, or even decades. So, if hindi nyo pa nakikita yung passion nyo or yung bagay na you wanted to achieve in your lifetime, it's time to look at it. If you're an entrepreneur and you're in that particular business, and then you need grit in order to achieve. Next slide, please. Yes, again, and having said that, I'd just like to discuss this, since yung isa sa mga realization ko when reading this book of Dr. Angela Duckworth is that if you're an entrepreneur or if you're a person, knowing grit, you will now recognize that instant gratification is not what you expect or you will expect if you wanted in a long-term success or a sustained success. Because again, ang sabi nga nila, but I think it's already what you call that, a misnomer or a myth that millennials wanted instant gratification. Because for me, I'm seeing some millennials successful at that knows how to delay gratification. They really know their vision. They really know what they wanted to do, and it's their passion. And way beyond money, they're doing what they love with sustained perseverance. Or that's why hindi naman talaga automatic na millennials wanted instant gratification. in my opinion. Of course, there are studies that showed that millennials want instant gratification, yung gusto agad, successful, but there are also cases na, in my eyes, I saw with my own two eyes that they don't go for instant gratification. So again, if you're an entrepreneur, having grit means doing away with instant gratification. Next slide, please. Oops, medyo again, thank you sa mga nanonood. One of the things that the book discuss is the United States Military Academy, wherein in their study, 2004, Dr. Angela Duckworth and her team went to West Point and studied the enrollees, yung mga applicants, mga new trainees, no? And in the West Point, they called this training the Beast of West Point, wherein from 5 a.m. to 10 p.m., the trainees are trained different activities, no? Then gising uli ng 5 a.m., then start uli. Tulog uli sila ng 10 p.m. That's how rigorous the training is. And next slide, please. And they found out na out of that 1,200 trainees, 70 quit. And they found out na kasi before you enter the United States Military Academy at West Point, mayroong mga training, may mga exams, no, written exams, interviews. And they found out, according to Mike Matthews, the military psychologist assigned at West Point, that rising to the occasion has almost nothing to do with talent. Meaning, hindi yan usapin ng ikaw pinakamatalino or may isang particular talent ka na meron ka na you have it. It's not the issue na pumapasa ka sa, it's not the main reason why you pass the beast, no? He mentioned that those who drop out of training rarely did so from lack of ability. Rather, what mattered is never give up attitude. So it means that even if you lack talent, if you have the right attitude or the never give up attitude, you will be successful. So yung quitting, we should not be quitting with life or with our business, or maybe in a particular business, but we should not be quitting as an entrepreneur. If a business fail, we can shift to another business na para talaga sa atin. So that's what this number 2 talks about, no? Yung never quitting. It's not about ikaw yung pinakamatalino or ikaw yung pinaka magaling sa isang area. If merong problema dumating at you cannot handle it, you don't have the perseverance, you will not be successful. Okay? Next slide, please. So now we go to talent. And here in this book of Dr. Angela Duckworth, she discussed that we are distracted by talent. And next slide, please. We'll further explain this distraction on talent. Na pag talented, if a person is successful, we always say na, uy, because he is successful because he is talented. Parang yun agad yung conclusion. No? We conclude that a person is successful because he is talented. And it's a disrespect to really the reason for success ng mga taong talented. For example, hi Boss Romy, thank you for watching again. I'll see you soon. For example, Steph Curry. I'm using basketball players as an example because I love basketball. It's one of my interests and passion, learning basketball locally and internationally. And like Steph Curry's story, papayat siya and she's small, but he is small. But ang ginawa niya, since shooting yung magiging edge niya, he practiced every day with his father, honing his craft of shooting. Actually, iba yung shooting style ni Steph Curry nung nagsimula siya. And his father changed the arc of his shooting. Of course, we'll go for Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan, which is right now famous siya kasi ulit because of Netflix Last Dance. And they talked about how Michael Jordan was cut by his high school coach. And yun yung naging fire niya to really improve or enhance his craft. And last but not the least, the late, great Kobe Bryant, ang kanyang isang kwento ni Chris Bosh a former Heat player na Hall of Famer, is 4 a.m. pa lang gising na si Kobe Bryant doing shooting and practice. While si Chris Boss, pagdating niya sa gym, 6 a.m., iba na yung ginagawa, no? Tapos na mag-workout si Kobe Bryant, kakain na siya, then babalik uli sa gym. Ganun ka, then every day. And Kobe Bryant also going back, uh, while other players, teammates, go to clubs after games, Kobe Bryant stays in his hotel and studies the opponents for the next game. So ganun siya ka faithful and ganun siya ka passionate and persevering in being great at his craft. Next slide, please. Again, in summary, let's not give too much premium sa talent. Of course, we praise talent, but let us recognize that yun yung superficial na results ng taong who works hard every day. No? Hindi nakikita yun ng mga tao, but that's the reason why most of the entrepreneurs, most of the successful athletes, and other personalities in different fields are able to be successful not because of talent alone, but because every day they showed up. Okay? Next, ito yung number 3, as much as talent counts, efforts count twice. And again, those examples of the NBA players, no? If you have talent, it counts. But again, efforts count twice. Of course, nanonood si Chari. I know Chari is a hardworking person, and Jerry is a hardworking person, and Romy and other people watching right now. And you may have talent, but don't forget, kahit na wala kang talent, if you have effort, it counts twice. Next slide, please. So in the book, they mentioned this two formula that is shows why effort counts twice. So if you have talent and multiply it by your effort, then you develop a skill. No, whatever skill is that? Is that in the business it's selling, or maybe sales presentation, or maybe telemarketing, or writing business letter. If you don't have talent, if you have effort, you will develop that. No, you will eventually have talent in writing a letter or a business letter or a pitch, and then it becomes a skill if you do it every day. And then skill times effort, that's the main thing. No, you will be able to create achievement. So don't forget about these two um, um, formula in allowing you to be successful in developing your grit. Okay, next slide, please. And those formula are evident on successful athletes. So we go to John Irving, one of the famous authors in America, a novelist, and to tell you honestly, wala pa akong book na nababasa with regards to John Irving, but I mentioned him here because um, he is one of the examples or case in the book of Dr. Angela Duckworth. It was told in the book that John Irving has no talent in writing. In fact, what he does is every day he writes the story, and then ang pinaka-talent when he was asked what's his secret is that he always rewrite his stories. So that is the reason why maganda raw yung kanyang novels, because he always rewrites it. So try to think of it that there's no good writer if you don't know how to edit, rewrite your stories and novel. And that's the same with other reporters, talagang magaling na writer. Talagang the key is to edit, no? And also in other in our business, the key is try until you perfect it. Kahit sa events, I'm part of the events industry, and kahit na matagal ka na, you also encounter mistakes, no? Sometimes those mistakes are very big to cover up, and you learn from that mistakes, and then you meet again, check what happened, what's your weakness, what are your shortcomings, and then you correct it, and then it's another day. Sabi nga sa events, you're only as good as your last performance. Go. Next slide, please. So another is Nani Kuring or Socorro Ramos of National Bookstore. She loves reading books, and again, yung kanyang passion for reading books, she was able to turn into business with her husband. At the same time, alam nyo ba na when they started a bookstore, their first bookstore was burned down. No? Nasunog yung store nila, all the books got burned down. And as an entrepreneur, diba, if you don't have that grit, you will give up on that. I know a friend of mine, she has a business on LPG, and sumabog yung store niya. And because of that, she got traumatized. She did not continue anymore that type of business. She shifted to another business. But here, kay Nanay Kuring, even if uh, they have a bad memory about that bookstore, they were able to lift themselves up, and now you have a lot of national bookstores all around the country, and that's because she has the grit to continue even if she experienced a traumatic event in doing so in this type of business. Next slide, please. And fourth is coming from Will Smith. And Will Smith, he is one of the like personalities interviewed in this book. And Will Smith said, without effort, your talent is nothing more than unmet potential. Without effort, your skill is nothing more than what you could have done but didn't. With effort, talent becomes skill, and at the very same time, effort makes skill productive. So, again, yung with effort, talent becomes skill. If you have a talent na ginamit mo sa tama, or uh, you really took time to hone that craft, and it becomes a skill, and at the same time, because of effort, you become productive at using and harnessing that skill. Again, we are used to hearing people saying na meron siyang unmet potential, malaki ang potential niya, but those are just potential. If that particular person don't use that potential, uh, don't give effort in honing that potential, wala yun. It will become unmet, latent potential. And Will Smith in this book mentioned that a concrete example. I may not be talented, sabi niya, but in the treadmill, if we are both running or using the treadmill, one thing I can assure you, you will be the one to first get out of the treadmill. It's not me if we're running side to side using the treadmill. Sabi niya, or if I cannot defeat you in using the treadmill, I will die inside the treadmill. Ganun siya, ganun yung belief niya in grit and harnessing his talent and harnessing his potential. Now, that treadmill case study na if I'm in the treadmill at tayong dalawa magsabay, I rather die in the treadmill than give up, than lose to you. So that what makes Will Smith great on his craft. And as we can see, he's one of the multi-awarded actors and successful actors in Hollywood. Next slide, please. Again, thank you again sa mga nanonood. Salamat for being with me in this Monday morning. I know it's MECQ. Some of you are already in the at work, but some of us are still at home because our industry is not yet allowed to operate. So I'm one of those companies inside that company that's not yet allowed to operate our business. And we go to the half of the presentation. So my challenge to you is, what are you good at, and how you can uh, if you give an effort to that thing that you are good at, or things that you are good at, you can consider it as an achievement because it will be a productive use of your talent because you gave that effort. Kailangan you should know what your effort what are the things that you are good at. So that is parang ano to, break on the quotes that or the wisdom that we will be sharing to you in this book grid. Next slide, please. So, saan ka magaling? Yun yung gusto kong sabihin. Saan? It's time to harness that. It's time to give an effort and, create an achievement that only you can have. Number 5 is, grit is doing what you love, but not just falling in love staying in love. And mahirap yun, di ba? Parang sa business, it's easy to start a business. What is hard is to maintain the business. Ganon din yung grit, no? So yung mga entrepreneurs na nagstay, nagtatagal sila sa business na yun, nilalaban nila, is because they have grit. I believe and I realize those people, they have grit. Lalo na yung mga SMEs, small and medium enterprise. Ang hirap, no? I know someone na she is successful. Ang business niya, she has to wake up around 10 p.m. And kasi, ano siya distribution ng pagkain. 10 p.m. So kukuha sa kanya yung mga hanggang 8 to 12 noon. Gising siya. So tapos 12 to 6 tulog siya, then gising na naman siya to start the business. Or yung sa palengke, yung mga tao doon, no, yung mga owners of the stalls, they are awake kung saan majority of the people are sleeping, di ba? So that is great for you, no? And if you found that thing that you love, and it's and you stayed in love until now, and that is a big bonus for you, no? Or a big congratulations to you, because that is great, no? Doing what you love, but not just falling in love, staying in love, and always approaching that business na parang first time mo pa lang siya nakita, no? And that is great. Next slide, please. And that this wisdom is one of the best gift that this book offered to me. Sabi nga nila, kung entrepreneur ka, dapat sunod sa puso, hindi sunod sa uso. Okay? That's what that number 5 quote means. No? Next slide, please. Number 6, enthusiasm is common, endurance is rare. Again, it's related to number 5, but I guess this one, short but sweet, easy to remember. Again, it means that we have that as a Filipino, we have that ningas kugon, where we start something, then we just give up and move to another interest. So wala tayo na-achieve. So the issue here, this number 6 means is if you want to be successful as an entrepreneur, as a person, have that enthusiasm or passion. It's very common to be passionate, but again, also make endurance or enduring a common thing to you in order for you to overcome all those challenges. Kasi life is not a straight line. It's may peaks and valleys. And darating yon, and your passion or enthusiasm is challenged. But if you have the endurance, definitely you will not give up as a person and as an entrepreneur. And right now, in our situation, keep that passion in your business or whatever the things that you're doing in order to survive this current new normal or be successful in this current new normal. Endurance is rare, and if it's rare, let's have that one so that among the many people, among the crowd, we will be on top of them because we have the endurance to sustain ourselves, good or bad. We are there, no? We're just there. We are consistent. Next slide, please. So it's like, my example is like baking a cake. So maraming gusto mag-bake na babae or kahit lalaki gusto mag-bake. And I mean, after nakita nila mahirap, they give up. So next slide, please. So di ba? Masarap mag-bake ng cake eh. But pag nakita mo yung process at hindi yung passion mo, ay ayoko na yan, sobrang hirap. So I want to give you a great entrepreneur na yung passion niya sa baking, he was able to set up a successful business. Na-idol ko to. The reason why I put John Lucoa, the founder and owner of French Bakers, because in some situations, nakikita ko siya palagi sa mga French baker store kasi kumakain din ako doon. And nagche-check sa iba-ibang store to. I won't mention the different stores na kung saan madalas ko siya makita. But when I see him, ino-observe ko siya kung ano yung ginagawa niya sa store niya. And talagang sine-check niya and kumakain siya, nagpapaserve siya sa mga staff niya, no? Talagang nag-o-audit siya. And try to imagine that I can even imagine every day ginagawa niya yun. Or kung hindi man, every week ginagawa niya yun. And that's, for me, is endurance, no? or being in love every day with the craft na you're passionate about, and that is for him baking. Kaya naman, masarap yung bread sa French baker, no? Masarap yung pagkain niya and successful siya as a businessman. Next slide, please. So 7 is any successful person has to decide what to do in part by deciding what not to do. Parang it's a strategy, no? You cannot do everything. You just it's like spreading yourself too thin, no? So might as well focus. Sabi nga ni is it Alris that's mentioned that you have to focus. Focus ka sa ilan lang, no? The very important things that you have to do. You have to focus, no? Hindi mo kayang gawin lahat. Kung hindi, kumbaga, yun lang kung saan mo gusto talagang maging successful. And of course, kung tayo papipiliin, we want to be successful in all the things that we do, but it's not possible. So again, sabi nga niya, sabi ni Warren Buffett, if you write 25 things that you wanted to do, so write it all, sabi ni Warren Buffett doon sa driver niya. Then, after that, slash it to 5, kung ano talaga yung pinaka gusto mo gawin sa number 5. And after that, slash it more. No? Tapos yung in-slash mo, kung top 3 mo na lang, i-maintain mo yon. Then, basahin mo ulit yung 25 na list na ginawa mo. And then, remember that when you read all those 25 lists, you throw it all away and never do it again because it means that yung top 3 mo, yun na lang yung gagawin mo. So, huwag mo na aksayin yung ibang yung energy mo sa things na tinrush mo or you threw out when you determined your top 3. So that's the advice of Warren Buffett. Again, that's number 7. Next slide, please. So I call that tyranny of the many. So yung marami tayong gustong gawin. So right now, in this current situation, we wanted to do a lot of things, but it's best that we select only 3 things that we can do and focus on it and make ourselves invested on those 3 things. And then if we do that, definitely, as the book mentioned, success or achievement is not far behind. Next slide, please. So parang juices, no? Ang daming juices. Ang hirap mag-decide. So therefore, just throw all out. Select only 3 source of oranges, of juice or orange that you wanted to have. And that's it. Next slide, please. All right. Nawala yata yung aking operator. Okay. While we're waiting for the slide, okay. Again, as I mentioned, this program is not only you will be seeing other people speaking in front of you, sharing their business book that they wanted to, that helped them a lot in their journey as an entrepreneur, as a professional, as a businessman, or as a, okay, thank you. That's the slide. But before that, again, we'll in a couple of weeks, you'll be seeing other people that we will be interviewing, and we will also be sharing their favorite business book. No, so if you are that person, you can PM me, and we will feature you on some upcoming episodes of Business Book Day. Again, it's like family. Being a family is like it's like you don't know first, as an individual person na wala ka pang family, you don't know how to care, you don't know how to be selfless, you're selfish. But when you form a family, you realize that there are other person that you need to take care. And parang ganun yung grit. Grit grows, you can develop that, the grit. Kung maliit lang siya ngayon, sa tingin nyo, maliit lang yung perseverance nyo or your passion nyo, it can be developed. There are science in developing grit. Next slide, please. Oops, lumaktaw yata tayo. Nawala yung number 8, Jay. Hopefully, we can go back to number 8 because 7 lang kanina. Sige pa. Go back. Okay. So that's it. Just want to mention necessity is the mother of adaptation. So it was mentioned in the book that right now as an entrepreneur, um, how can you use your passion to allow you to be successful or to survive, not only survive but thrive in this new normal, and that is the challenge, no? And that is a journey that we all have to undertake, no? And to think, no? It's a deliberate process that we have to undergo, and or maybe our organization must undergo. We have to meet a lot, discuss a lot, or association that we are a member of to discuss what are the steps, no? Because again, we're doing it because there's a necessity to do it, and we will adapt. And sabi nga ni Charles Darwin, only the strongest survive. And sabi niya, those the strongest are those that can adapt to changes. And if you want to be one of those strongest species in the world, or human in the world, you must know how to adapt. You must be flexible. Next slide, please. Go to number 9, Jay, please. Of course, next slide. So, 9, ito yung maganda, no? World-class expert practice until conscious incompetence becomes unconscious competence. I read a lot of books about it. One of my favorite is Zen, the motorcycle of Zen, wherein it's like Zen teach you that if you're an expert, you will be able to do it without thinking. No, kumbaga, it's part of your DNA already. It's like a habit. Thank you, Catherine. Good morning, and God bless you. It's like if you do it every day, it becomes part of your DNA, or it becomes part of your habit that you don't need to think of it anymore. It's like unconscious competence. If you know how to spot mistakes in a letter, it becomes automatic because it's part of your DNA. So all of those things, all of those skills that you wanted to acquire can become part of your DNA if you practice it or if you put an effort every day. Kung ano yung craft mo. For example, for me, like I used to be a shy person. I don't want to speak in public. And then I practice speaking to few people. Then at the same time, when given the opportunity, I muster courage to speak to a bigger number of people, to a public. And now I'm here at the webinar. I don't want to do this, but I'm mustering my courage to sharing my passion of business books, and with the intention of inspiring other people. And maybe there's a lot of things also to improve in the way I present this, but I don't care. I know that every day, if I make an effort, or every week I make an effort, eventually uh, it will be an unconscious competence, no? And that is what's uh, we're aiming at, unconscious competence. Hi, Mike. Thank you for watching. Next slide, please. And the last, of course, yung unconscious competence is kahit nakapikit kayo, kaya niyong gawin, no? Sa Tagalog, no? Right? And that's good, right? That's the skill set that you want. If, for example, in the events industry, I'm already in my 20 years, but of course, meron ka pang dapat improve doon. But I can safely say that I'm an expert na kahit nakapikit ako, alam ko kung ano yung mali. Or if I enter an exhibition, I know that I know the exhibitors are earning or not. Those are things that you are able to get because of years of doing it, years of being part of that industry. Sabi nga, be an expert. Kung saan ka nilagay ng Diyos, doon ka mag-ugat, sabi nga. And that's true, no? If you will become an expert if you stayed in that industry for a long time. And next slide, please. Ayan. And yung long time, according to study, is they tap that 10,000 hours rule na sinabi sa book ni Malcolm Gladwell, no? Or uh, or 10 years rule. So according to study or research, in order to be an expert on something, no? Expert or a master or a guru, you have to give, or you have to give. You have to practice it for 10,000 hours, spread spread in 10 years. No? Actually, yun eh. But sikat kasi yung 10,000 hours rule, madaling matandaan, or 10 years rule. But actually, speaking of this rule, ano lang siya, ginawa lang siyang ganyan kasi madaling tandaan. But the reality is, it takes more than 10 years sometimes to master a craft. And even the master will tell you, like Neil Gaiman for that matter, or other masters like basketball players, athletes, no? Parang they can still see a lot of improvements on their craft. And it means that it takes a lot of time, no? Talagang if you want to be successful on a particular area, it takes hard work, and it takes a lot of time to hone that craft, no? To be a master, to be a guru. And even the guru will tell you, I still need to improve on things. Kasi learning and continuous improvement never stop. Sabi nga sa Japan, it's Kaizen. Okay? Next slide, please. And of course, my example is Akiko Thompson, because I was able to attend Akiko Thompson's inspirational talk when I was still part of Jollibee. I was a former Jollibee manager, and Akiko Thompson was one of our speakers. Sabi ni Akiko, the hardest thing of being an athlete is that kasi yan ang star natin ng mga panahon ko eh, no, nung bata ako. So Akiko Thompson, she was sent to US to practice. And she must they wake up around 4 a.m. and their coach wanted them to go to the water, swim at 4 a.m. Di ba? Ang lamig-lamig doon. And during that time, it was Christmas. But even if Christmas time noon, and her family is in the Philippines, or she is very homesick, she needs to train. Try to imagine that pain of going into practice Christmas time, cold, malamig yung tubig, at malungkot ka, you can feel the loneliness, di ba? And because passion in Latin means sacrifice. So you are sacrificing not only for yourself, but for your family if you're doing something that you are so invested in, no? If you want to be successful, parang entrepreneur, di ba? Yung time mo, sabi nila, if you're a negosyante, you will hawak mo yung oras mo. Di ba hindi naman totoo yun? Hawak mo yung oras mo means wala ka ng 8-hour rule, no? 8-hour work rule. It means that from 7 a.m. or 9 a.m. to 12 midnight, or sometimes morning na, you are still working. Yun ang ibig sabihin nun, no? There are sacrifices to be made in order to be successful. Next slide, please. Ayun, please. Yes, next slide. Yes, thank you, Jay. 10. And the last of the things that I enjoyed with this book is this number 10. We all face limits, not just talent, but in opportunity. But more often than that, we think our limits are self-imposed. Ibig sabihin nun, lahat tayo have limits. We are not perfect. We are not Superman. Even Superman has weakness, di ba? But more often than not, those limitations are in the mind, no? Self-imposed. And kaya nga, ngayon nasa quarantine tayo, nasa new normal tayo. Guys, sabi natin, oh, wala na akong trabaho. We are afraid, no? O wala na ako, paano ako kikita, no? The question is, all those things that you're being afraid of are self-imposed. Marami kasi tayong nakita mga SMEs natin ngayon, they're thriving, no? They're thriving, like SMEs dito sa subdivision namin, we created a Viber community, and people are buying and selling, and a lot of people are thriving. They were able to find an additional income because they don't allow that self-limitation to limit them to not earning or to finding another source of income. And that is, always remember, all those fears are due to our mental state. So kung tinanggal natin yung mental limits natin, na we can do a lot of things, we can do anything. I'm not afraid to fail. It's okay to fail because we will learn from our failures. And then ano lang tayo, proactive. We will move forward. And thank you, Jesse, for it inspires me to create more episodes of this uh, program. Salamat. So again, think of those things that you're thinking right now that are causing you to be afraid as self-limitations, and na nasa utak nyo, it's a mental limitation. You have to remove that mental limitation in order to find solutions to your current state of problem. At maraming solutions if you will do that. If you just do the mindset of a growth mindset, which we will be discussing in a few coming episodes. Okay? Next slide, please. So, ako, pag like this quarantine, if I feel like you, I also feel that emotion of being afraid or helplessness. But whenever I see this guy, no, or whenever I think of this guy, Nick Vujicic, a famous motivational speaker, inspirational speaker. I mean, siya nga walang legs, wala siyang kamay, but he can swim, he can cook food, he can do a lot of things. Meron siyang family. I mean, kung tayo buo yung ating parts of the body, marami tayong magawa, right? We can do a lot of things because this guy proves it. Now we can do a lot of things if we remove our mental limitation. So yun yung good thing about it. Next slide, please. So remember Nick Vujicic. And another thing that was mentioned in the book is, of course, si Woody Allen. Sabi niya, 80% of success in life is showing up. So every day when you wake up, remember, always show up. No? Kahit na ano yung sitwasyon nyo, if you're in a dire situation, always show up. Never be defeated. And always try to, parang today's a new day, ito lang yung kaya nating i-conquer. Let's conquer this Monday. No? Let's not think about Tuesday. Today, how can we be productive? Today, what are the problems that we can solve? Di ba? Parang Thomas Alva Edison, mayroong siyang problem how to create light. No? He was able to do it, spent a lot of years perfecting that craft. And tayo, yun din yun tayo, para tayong Thomas Alva Edison, tayong scientist, no? Scientist of our life. How can we solve the current problem that is in front of us? Okay? So again, remember Woody Allen, 80% of success in life is showing up. So let's show up today, this Monday, and conquer our most pressing problem. Okay? Next slide, please. So I want to share to you because when I was college, I was an on-the-job trainee of the Department of Health as a journalist. And na-assign ako kay our late great, I'll say our late great, one of our late great leaders, Senator and Secretary Juan Flavier of the Department of Health. Ang sabi niya sa akin, Orly, saan ka? Estudyante lang po ako, sir. Hindi ka estudyante lang, estudyante ka. Tapos sabi niya, Orly, what's my, parang eto nasa ibang ano rin niya to sa mga ibang write-ups niya, pero mahilig niya sabihin to Alam mo, Orly, you don't need to be matalino. Kasi sabi ng mother ko, anak, kahit di ka matalino, kapag araw-araw, pumapasok ka, papasa ka. And that is great for you, right? So, Juan Flavier, in his time in the Senate, got perfect attendance, while most of the senators are, they have absences. He always attends the Senate hearing or functions that he should be attending. Kasi sabi niya, ito yung rule niya sa life, no? Anak, kahit hindi ka matalino, kapag araw-araw pumapasok ka, papasa ka. So, we should be inspired about with this type of statement from one of our great leaders. Kasi di ba, if you don't have talent, but if every day you show up, you will be successful in life. That's for sure, because that's what our successful leaders are telling us. Next slide, please. Of course, that ends our presentation. I want to invite you to be a member of the group of Philippine Business and Entrepreneurs Network. Be a group member, because what we'll do will be featuring all of you to help you promote your business for free. Okay, so we'll start that this coming Wednesday. We have a set of companies. I don't care if you're registered or not, so long as you're doing legitimate business, we will feature you in the show. Okay, and next slide, please. If you want to review this session, of course, besides Facebook, you can go to YouTube. It will be uploaded at YouTube. And if you are into podcasts, it is also at Anchor. It's just look for my name or Liberal Stairs. It will be uploaded. Again, those who wanted to be part of the show of Business Book Day and also love books like me or are inspired by business books like me and they're using that book to really survive and be successful in different set of business situations, please PM me or message me. I will feature you or you will be our guest in our next episode. Again, as I always mentioned, a business book a week. Keep your performance at peak. Guys, I know this is the new normal. We have not yet recovered from COVID-19. And so stay safe. Always assume that you are asymptomatic when you go out and that all the people that you're meeting are asymptomatic. Therefore, if that's your mindset, you will be careful on the way you do things. And again, hindi pa talaga open lahat ng business. So try to pivot or find ways to solve your problems because you can if you will just remove your mental limits as what Dr. Angela Duckworth said. So this is a great book. It's still available at bookstore. I'm not paid by any bookstore to do that, but I guess best authors took time to really do research and create wonderful books. That's why we love those books, and it can help our life. No, meron tayong business mentors, meron tayong associations, meron tayong friends to run when we have problems. But besides that, we have business books, great authors that wrote these books to help us survive the new normal or kahit na wala ng new normal to help us be successful with our life. Again, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate you. Casa Feliciano, thank you. John Leonard Go, Michael Herrera, Romy, Catherine Velasco, salamat. And sa lahat na nanonood na hindi nag-comment but you're there, maraming pong salamat. I'll see you next week for another edition of Business Book Day. Bye. God bless you. Have a great Monday. I'll see you soon face to face. Thank you.